duckies, and welcome to the demo for The Beekeeper's Picnic. This is about Sherlock Holmes after his retirement, becoming a beekeeper, and setting up a picnic for his friend Watson. But things keep getting in the way. So let's see. Now keep in mind, guys, this is an alpha demo from the Steam Next Fest. Oh, sorry. Had to adjust the sound a little bit. Well, I was correct in my summation then. This is where the printing press created by the master counterfeiter Prescott was hidden. There must be 2,000 counterfeit notes here. If all these had entered circulation, the Bank of England would have been severely undermined. Now we have only to wait and catch the bird returning to its nest. You think this man Prescott will return here? No, he was killed. It is his murderer I mean to catch. James Winter, alias Killer Evans, known to have shot 3 men in the States. Well, if our Wild West friend tries to live up to his nickname, I will be ready for him. I have my revolver. Good old Watson. Stay where you are, Mr. Evans, if you value your life. You have a gun trained on you, and Scotland Yard will be with us in a few moments. I would advise surrender. Well, I guess you have one too many for me. You have been one too many for me, Mr. Holmes. Saw through my game, I suppose, and played me for a sucker from the first. Well, sir, I hand it to you. You have me beat, and... Watson? You're not hurt, Watson. For God's sake, say that you're not hurt. It's nothing, Holmes. It's merely a scratch. Examine for yourself. It's just a flesh wound in my thigh. You're right. It is quite superficial. Is Killer Evans? Yes. A clear case of self-defense on your part, dear fellow. Perhaps it is just as well that it should end this way. If he had killed you, I would not have let him get out of this room alive. Holmes, I do wish you would stop that. Stop what, precisely? Ruminating over my injury. You said yourself that it is a flesh wound, quite superficial. I will be back on my feet again in no time. You must stop worrying. I was doing no such thing. I was considering an entirely different matter. I may not be a master of observation, but I have known you long enough to think otherwise, my dear fellow. There must be some way for me to help, Watson. Making a close observation of him will be a good place to start. Intimate companion and biographer, Dr. John H. Watson. Shall we see what can be observed about him? I should visit my brain addict afterwards to see what deductions can be made based on my findings. He was shot in the left thigh. The evidence is mostly gone. His blood-stained trousers have been burned, and the bandage is not visible under his clothes. I can tell from the way he sits that it is still causing him some discomfort. Poor Watson. He has had quite enough gunshot wounds for one lifetime. Holmes, you're brooding again. I'm touched that you were so affected. Deeply touched, but I hate to see you keep berating yourself. Yellow-backed novel entitled The Lady Detective Makes It Right. Here's a picture of a young lady examining a footprint on the front and an advertisement extolling the virtues of cocoa on the back. His look of concentration is occasionally interrupted by him wetting his lip and clearing his throat slightly. I've just observed something important about Watson. I should enter my brain attic in order to see if I can make any deductions. Brain attic? Oh, welcome to my brain attic. I like to think of my mind as a space full of well-chosen materials and information which I can draw on in order to complete my work. I keep a record here of people who are significant to me, represented by portraits on the wall. This blackboard is very important. I use it to combine observations I have made in order to make deductions. Metaphorically, of course. Watson, you should not be in here by rights. This is a place of facts, of logic. He's a distracting factor. Great in a sensitive instrument, yet I find that I want him here all the same. My brother Mycroft, he's my superior in observation and deduction, although he does not have the energy or ambition to be a detective. Instead, he uses his capacity for storing facts in the aid of the government. Indeed, it could be said that occasionally he is the British government. I have some important news to share with Watson when I know that he's comfortable. See where it is. Imagine a blackboard within my mind sorting out the information that is use of the blackboard. Let's create an A story set lately. I've had some attempts at drawing down some historical fiction, but I'm struggling to find a home for them. I may make an attempt at writing up more real cases. The affairs of the dancing men would be popular, don't you think? It certainly had a touch of the sensational about it. Have you ever considered getting a dog, Watson? Sometimes I am fond of dogs. They require considerable care, however. Indeed, yet they are loyal beasts with excellent noses. You remember old Toby, kept by Mr. Sherman. If we had a little more space, and I thought Mrs. Hudson would allow it, I may have thought to buy him and have him here with us. But now both man and dog are long dead. Oh hum. Such is the way of things. I will let you return to your book. Tempting. He is not quite so injured that I need to toss him over my shoulder and put him to bed, however. Eh? One of Dr. Watson's gasogenes. It's quite a clever device. The lower chamber contains water, the upper chamber contains tartaric acid and sodium bicarbonate. Two chemicals react, producing carbon dioxide and carbonating the water. For some reason, he prefers to drink his water fizzing with bubbles. There's usually some glasses here, but they are absent. I will have to improvise. Don't want to carry around a delicate glassware unless I have a specific purpose for it in mind. Should pick it up and then find another object to use it with. What have we here? Some pink pansies have been delivered to our door. There's a handwritten card on rather fine cardstock. Penmanship is decidedly female. However, it has a certain lax form, which I associate with those in the medical field. Dear John, wishing you a swift recovery with warmest regards, Rebecca. Dear John? Dear John? How presumptive. The remains of Watson's dinner, from the color of the sauce and a distinctive smell. I think that this once held a portion of Miss Hudson's quite delightful curried lamb. Ooh, that sounds tasty. A delicious dish, which has sometimes even induced me to overindulge. However, it is quite spicy and salty. Aha. Watson has eaten the curry, and now he is clearing his throat often, licking lips. I conclude that he is rather thirsty. Hardly my most illuminating deduction, I grant you. However, the mechanism remains the same when I am solving such much more complex problems. I seek out information and look for connections. I should find him something to drink. I could ring for Mrs. Hudson, but Watson would find it more charming if I were to find him something to drink myself. Ah, yes, I shall take the beaker. I hope you will momentarily forgive me for casting aside the diaphanous fourth wall which exists between us, but you must take the beaker out of my... Oh, okay. There. I now have a beaker full of sparkling water. Here you are, my dear fellow. You seem to be thirsty after your curried lamb. Apologies for the container. Mrs. Hudson seems to have purloined all of our glasses. It is clean, I assure you. Thank you, Holmes. You're right. I am more thirsty than I realized. I would trust you to have avoided cross-contamination when it comes to your scientific experiments, and that this is not an attempt to poison me. Well, I have done that for him at least. Perhaps I should stop delaying. There's something important I need to speak to him about. I'll use set up chemistry equipment. Solution to some of my most complex cases have been wrought here over Bunsen burners and beakers. Eclectic selection of books. Once Watson's novels and my own reference books were carefully delineated, but after many years of living together, they are hopelessly muddled. It is my practice to keep my unread correspondence firmly secured to the mantelpiece with a jackknife. I find it to be an efficient filing method, but not one generally advocated. If I take the knife, all my letters would be liable to go astray. I'm going to answer them, eventually. Memento of one of my early cases, photograph of a late opera singer, Irene Norton de Alder, the woman who was able to utterly evade my traps. I am always rather pleased that she did. Small leather traveling case with a velvet lining. When I last looked inside, probably about 5 years ago, it housed a hypodermic syringe and other accoutrements. You may wonder why I still keep it here at all. I find there is a certain satisfaction in knowing it is available yet untouched. Perhaps one day I will find some other use for the case. Holmes, are you perfectly fine, Doctor? Please continue with your book. A single silk embroidered slipper in an oriental style. I lost its partner many years ago. Since then, it's been here as a receptacle for tobacco. We must discuss something important. The thing I wish to say to Watson is quite significant. Am I ready to take the step? Do you want to say something? Another moment. Did you enjoy your curried lamb? Yes, very much. Mrs. Hudson may still have some available if you're hungry. You must eat, Holmes. The case is over. Again, I will say, Where are the classes which usually reside by the Isidon? One of them was broken in your chemistry equipment last week. The rest are currently being cleaned. Now we'll discuss something important. Yes, I think I'm ready. Watson, we must discuss something important. Earlier, you presumed that I was berating myself for allowing you to come to harm. While my thoughts have turned that way often ever since you were injured, it was not what I was thinking at that moment. Rather, I was trying to decide how to share some important news with you. I have decided to retire. Retire? Yes, to sequester myself away on a farm of my dreams. I have a notion to take up beekeeping. Give up your detective work? Surely not. You are simply upset because I was hurt. In a week or two... No, I'm quite certain. In fact, I purchased a cottage and some land in Sussex several months ago. I do not crave the thrill of detection as I once did. It is a task for a young man, and I am no longer young. It is time to move on. But, but what am I to do? Whatever you like, Watson, I am not your keeper. It is a rather large cottage. Holmes, you know that I will never tire of your company. A countryside retirement sounds idyllic, yet this is very sudden. I'm not certain I'm ready for that kind of seclusion. I still have a few decades worth of perfectly respectable medical career ahead of me and people here who rely on me. Once I fail to supply the curious adventures which thrill you and provide you with material for your sordid magazine stories, you lose interest in me. Is that it? Of course not. You know that is not true. Or perhaps you have set your sights on marrying the sensible and pretty matron who brings you flowers and writes you sweet nothings. If you propose, I am certain she will agree. She's not been subtle about her intentions. Holmes, you have been childish. Yes, I suppose I am. Of course I will come with you if you need me. If you ask me to join you, I will. No, I cannot ask that of you. You're loyal and true to a fault, my dear, dear Watson. And I'm certain that you would give up your own passions to join me in mine. If you did, a seed of resentment would be sown which might drive us apart in the end. I could not endure that. Seems that we are being drawn along different paths then. Yes. Strange, isn't it? Yes, very strange. They were wonderful years, weren't they? I loved every moment. Watson, they were glorious. We were glorious. You won't vanish on me, will you, Holmes? You won't simply disappear without telling me you are going. I can't bear that. No, I think I have a little more sense these days to engage in those kinds of theatrics. Should you need me, Watson, you will find me in Sussex, keeping bees and reading philosophy. You'll always be very, very welcome. Watson. Good afternoon, Holmes. Must apologize for turning up out of the blue like this. I know I should have written to you ahead of time. My ship came in this morning and I found myself unceremoniously deposited back in England. I couldn't face the hubbub of London. I really am dog-tired, and you do have a rather good track record of perking me up when I'm back from war. So I hoped. If it is at all inconvenient, then you must tell me. I am certain I could find alternative accommodations. Watson, kindly stop talking nonsense. Come inside, get out of that uniform, and make yourself at home. You must stay for as long as you like. Dear, dear Watson. Watson is by my side again. I must ensure that he is able to rest and recuperate and find a way to tell him, well, many things. But how? Some grand gesture, perhaps? A picnic on the cliff tops. He would like that. The perfect moment of peace and tranquility after the bloodshed he has seen. All the lives he has saved. And not managed to save. However, I have a sense that I am currently not in a fully developed world, but a mere demonstration. Perhaps a full picnic will not be possible this time. I will content myself with attempting to fetch some honey from my hives. Dr. John H. Watson, my stalwart biographer, intimate friend, and erstwhile partner in the art of detection. Lately, he's been writing this morning. He has ink stains on his hand. Also, I observed him doing it. There are crumbs in his mustache. Toast, I believe. He's wearing his sturdiest boots, the one he usually reserves for muddy walks. Noble hound, the finest canine in all of England, with the best nose. Toby, third of the... Gosh, I say, that's a little rich. All true, of course. Would the great Sherlock Holmes accept anything less from his loyal hound? He is a useful pup in many ways, an excellent guard, good in a scrap with an excellent nose, but you must be more specific. Hello, master. You're a good boy. Well, naturally, and I think you're a good human, master, especially when you give me bones. It's a pity for all your intelligence you can't understand me. Ah, Toby, if only you could speak. Oh, don't worry, master. You have the nice doctor fellow to talk to now, so you need not be lonely. I don't need conversation. I'm content with pats and belly rubs. That's enough talk for now, doggy. Very well, master. Extractor designed to drain honey from a beehive frame. Stainless steel cylinder attached to the bellows. Got the smoker. We're going to need that. My young neighbor, Miss Tilda. She seems to be poised as if to cast her little fishing net into a pond. However, there is no pond. I can only conclude that in the full version of the game, she will be in another location more suitable for her favorite pastime. Miss Tilda, the niece of my old friend, Miss Hunter. Stains on her dress are characteristic of the meadow to the north of my cottage. Flower crown is made from the yellow yarrow, which grows in the north of my cottage. Hair is untidy and unbrushed. The dirt under her fingernail suggests she's been digging. There's no calluses of the kind I would associate with daily piano practice. Clean, empty gem jar. I think I recognize it as one from my own kitchen. Please don't take that, Mr. Holmes. I need it to catch my newts. Oh, of course, I understand. I should put the protective clothing on before making any kind of inspections of the hive. Do I have protective clothing? Not out here. Of course not. On further reflection, I should wait to put these on until I am near the hives. Take them from me for now. Been known for time out of mind that bees are calmed by smoke. The precise mechanism is a matter of hot debate. I am of the opinion that bees communicate danger by releasing subtle smells to one another, which the smoke interrupts. I wrote a short monograph on the subject if you're interested. It only takes a light touch. I do not want them to be stressed. It's a tray full of excess honey. Here, I'll take it with me. Honey is now in the extractor, ready to be drained into a container. I will take the empty tray with me. I'll put this back in the hive. There you are, my friends. Let's go find a container to put the honey in. Dog statue. In case he still has that. Grandfather clock. Lamp. Go into the kitchen. My old housekeeper, Martha, a stalwart woman with an iron will. She always smokes that particular pipe when she's in a bad mood. Her hands speak of decades of scrubbing and cleaning. I believe she was a scullery maid in her youth. Her hair grew very thin many years ago, so now she crops it short and wears a wig. Kitty. Hodge, who I think I must begrudgingly consider to be my cat, or else I am her human. She turned up one day and has not left me at least. Container, shovel. Looking for a container. How can I make a good picnic? Martha, I'm planning a surprise picnic for Watson. What key components would you suggest are required? Surprise picnic, eh? This isn't secretly some scheme, is it? Scheme? You're not setting this up in order to capture a gang of counterfeiters or such like. No, I'm setting this up in order to enjoy a picnic. Ah, well, it was worth checking. I would have thought the location is very important. A quiet spot with a beautiful view, perhaps. You need a hamper of food, naturally. I recall from his previous visits that the doctor is very partial to Miss Kumar's elderflower cordial. I imagine he would appreciate a bottle. However, Mr. Holmes, you know we are only in a demo, don't you? Well, naturally, the fact that I cannot leave the bee farm or go upstairs in my own house makes that abundantly clear. Perhaps you better focus on something you can get here then. Some honey, perhaps. So where are my lockpicking tools? And why do you need those? It's simply a hobby, you know. I have written various monographs about how lax some modern forms of locks are and how easily the skilled cracksman can break them. Top drawer your dresser, Mr. Holmes, and should you be clapped in handcuffs and carted away, I'll wash my hands of the whole affair. Goodbye, sir. You will keep out of mischief, won't you? I don't have anything to collect honey in. Either way, guys, that's all the time that I have for this demo. So thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to keep up to date on all the videos, and remember to free the feral wildflower in you. Bye-bye!